All right, baby. Woo! It's your boy Chansky coming at you with another video. We're going to talk about a couple of things today, and we're going to maybe resurrect a commander. How crazy does that sound? I have been fighting like madness in this Zone 5. Now, this isn't the meta KVK that's going on right now. But this is the KVK we've been fighting in. We've got this Zone 5 secured. It allowed me to try a bunch of different combinations and a bunch of different things. And what I found was pretty interesting. Now, if you love the channel or you at least like it, consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything. Also, throw a thumbs up on the video. Give me a like. Those really help the channel. It helps us out in our community and everything that we're doing. Speaking of the community, you can join my Discord. My Discord link is in the description. This is where a lot of my video ideas come from. And with that being said, it is a great place to ask questions, figure things out, come up with ideas. And that's why this video is getting made. It has 100% to do with my Discord, okay? Because I got a bunch of people in there cooking. They're constantly in the kitchen, cooking up all kinds of crazy stuff, okay? And one of them is my buddy Maple. You guys have heard him on my live stream before. Maple's really, really smart. He's a Cav player. He understands things very, very well when it comes to the mechanics of the game. And he looked at a commander in Arthur, and of course, we've been testing Arthur to the hilt like crazy. We've been putting him behind Huo. We've been putting him behind Joan. We've been putting Arthur primary. We've been running Philip behind him. Heck, I even tried running Attila behind him and got some decent results out of that. And there's different ways you can do that with Arthur. Of course, here is his setup on his Delta formation. And we started looking at something because you're getting a lot of these effects that proc multiple times. You can see my Arthur videos in the past. I go into how he procs Silent Trials, he procs the rings, he procs drums, he does all kinds of stuff with his combo setup as a primary commander, okay? And so with that, we look at his armaments, and this particular one is hard to get. This is the instrument block. It's hard to get the instrument slot because the special inscriptions from KVK can go here on the scroll. From the courier shop, they go here on the flag. And then these two, you've got to like get lucky or you got to do your wish list, okay? And if you don't, let's say you have you have something on the for wedge, right? Let's say you've got your unstoppable on the wedge. Like you can think about moving this over to Arthur, and let me explain why. Because don't get me wrong, this is great for Huo, this is great for Nevsky, this is great for Joan, this is great for your Cav commanders. That's fine. However, this is the only thing you need for Arthur in the field that is really going to help you. Here's what this thing does. It's kind of broken. First of all, it gives you 3.5% boost to combo attack damage dealt. Well, he does big combo attack damage when he's primary, okay? But here's the kicker to this thing. Combo attacks launched by their commanders are 20% more likely to trigger effects triggered by launching a basic attack. That's why some of the instant procs with Arthur are off the charts. Incredible. Okay, and with that being said, we started looking at this and somebody came up with an idea. And because I always thought to myself like, hey, you could run an artifact KVK and maybe put Alex behind him. Part of the reason why Alex and Luce work so well is because Luce has that combo for the expertise, and it allows Alex's proc, that 1700 damage factor, it allows Alex's proc to go off more often. That's part of the reason why they're so synergistic. Well, I was like, well, hey, I'll just put Alex over here with Arthur. And so I was messing around with that a little bit, trying to figure out if that would work. And I haven't gotten the artifact yet. When I get it, that's what I'll run and I'll test. But in the meantime, Maple comes up with an idea. Again, in the Discord, Maple's like, hey, I kind of messed around with William, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. Because for me, William's DOA. DOA means dead on arrival. Okay, like he's done. There's nothing I can get out of this guy anymore. I pretty much benched him in a 2-calf setup for Belly, and now with Arthur Phillip, I still have William benched because I like to run Belly. I think Belly's much more important when it comes to what he does, as far as his expertise and doing the surround effect of giving you all damage on the target. However, Williams got some weird stuff. His kit, nobody has ever argued that his kit is bad. His kit is what's kept him in the game for so long. Brings March Speed, little cav attack. He has a damage bonus, which is good. And then obviously he's got this, when he's on the map, you get an extra 30% attack. Whenever the troop launches a basic attack, it has a 10% chance to deal, wait a minute, extra damage to the target, 1,000 damage factor. If the target is surrounded, which just about every time it is, it takes even more direct damage factor, which is equal to the number of troops times 100 up to 5 troops. So you can technically get up to 1,500 damage factor. Now here's the kicker. The cooldown on this is 5 seconds. So wait a minute. This instant proc with a cooldown of 5 seconds, you add this to Arthur and let Arthur run Butterfly, that's going to give you a 20% more likelihood to trigger that. And it's only got a 5-second cooldown, whereas, hold on, Alex has a 3-second cooldown. Okay. You can proc that pretty good. So 5 seconds, just 2 more seconds. It's almost as good as Alex's. Not quite as good, but almost as good. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just do it. You know, it's going to help my other marches because he generates rage at the bloodline, which is his expertise. If the hidden bloodline hits exactly one target, the commander's troops gain 20% defense for 3 seconds. If you hit 2 or more targets in big murder ball fights, then you're going to buff all of your marches or 5 nearby allied or friendly troops, including your own, and you're going to give 50 rage per second and 20% defense for 3 seconds. Okay, now we're cooking. Now, this is the reason why William was in effect for so long, because he did so many other things. And then you've got this over here on the expertise that basically enhances this guy, or this guy, I should say. And so that's kind of what you're dealing with William. But the reason why nobody liked to use him anymore is because honestly, his damage factor just isn't that high. He's got a cool little slow on it, but his damage factor isn't that high. And we're just like, hey, we're not really a big fan of this. And the other side of this is that the buff, for the next 3 seconds, troops hit by this skill cannot benefit from buffs that increase skill damage. Okay, that's like a Nevsky or a YSG or a Zuge counter, right? They can't enhance their own skill damage. So this was always pretty good, but that's the main thing. The 1,500 damage factor, that just doesn't fly. It's just not very good. However, if you start giving him more damage, and here's his instant proc, and it only has a cooldown of 5 seconds, you start giving him more damage, or he can run that up to 1,500 every 5 seconds, and that's going to fire off a whole bunch with this guy? Okay. Now all of a sudden we're giving William what we were missing, which is damage. We want him to do more damage. So this enables him to do more damage, and then of course the commander of Arthur enables him to do more damage with the different combo attacks and things he has going on. And so even in the combo tree, you know, and so there's all kinds of ways to kind of look at that. But I tested it and I ran it, and it did better than my Arthur Phillip. And I'm like shocked. I'm like sitting there going, oh my gosh, this is working and it's not supposed to be. Damn it, I hate Maple. But the guy was right. And you know me, okay? I'm going to try everything. I'm going to try anything and everything that I can. And when you put William behind Arthur and you have that butterfly effect, it's on. I mean, it is on. He literally instantly became like Alex for Luce. Okay, and so that gives everybody an understanding of how that works. Now, the kicker to this is having the butterfly effect. But I would argue that unless you are a rally or garrison with Wedge, unless you are a rally or garrison and you have Unstoppable on your Wedge stuff, it might be worth moving that. Let's say I have this right here. and I'm not a rally. I'm not a rally player. Okay. Well, nothing. The only thing that keeps me from moving this over to Arthur, over to Delta formation, and using those conversion stones is that you're able to get the 5% boost to skill damage dealt, which is great. But when you deal direct damage to a target, there's a 30% chance that damage will be increased by 10%, which is awesome. Listen, Unstoppable is great. However, the benefits that Delta gives you when it comes to Butterfly is off the charts, especially when you put them with an instant proc commander. Okay, and so it might be worth switching that, because that's all you need for Arthur. Okay, if you've got Arthur and you've got Butterfly right here, and you have just regular common inscriptions everywhere else, you can still run them in the field and run them with William. Holy geez, now we can go move our Philip somewhere else. I can run them with infantry. I can run Philip with my archers, which is super popular right now. And it just gives everybody an idea to think about that, okay? And so with that being said, I think the declaration here is that you just need to try it. You need to see kind of how this stuff works. And if we look over here, hold on, at the, where is it? Instrument, I call this the bagpipe. That's what it looks like. Causative is kind of in the same situation. If you do have the rare inscription, which their odds are you're going to have a rare inscription maybe on Wedge that you want to convert over, or you're going to have a rare inscription on Arch that you want to convert over, like an even keeled or something like that. But at least if you've got the rare inscription, it gives you an 8% more likelihood. Instead of 20%, it gives you 8% more, which is still great. And so this situation of having either the rare or special inscription literally unlocks another march and another commander for you. And you're able to use Arthur as a primary. Okay, as a secondary, we know he does amazing. He's amazing with Huo. He's amazing with Joan. You can even use him with Nevsky. Okay, but as a primary commander, you're really starting to unlock some of the things that he does. And that's what's great about him. He's like a version of Luce in that sense. And now even more so, because what he's doing is the same thing Luce did for Alex. You're resurrecting a commander like William to come back into the fold and say, okay, all that stuff we loved about you, William, all that stuff you did and we just absolutely loved about you, all of a sudden now you're going to proc more damage more often. Well, that's the biggest thing we had an issue with, was that I can't use him because he doesn't do enough damage. Well, now he's starting to. If you run it with Butterfly or Causative, all of a sudden William's starting to do more damage. And guess what, folks? Guess what? William is due for a museum buff. I believe he's in the next round of museum buffs. And when they give William maybe 10% defense, 5% skill damage mitigation or something, holy cow. All right, we're cooking. So that's basically what I wanted to show you. And with that, I wanted to show you some reports and kind of go through this a little bit, okay? I had some here. I think Peace had some as well. She's fighting in the 960 KVK. They're going bananas. But here's some of the stuff that I found here. Look at these trades. Like, it's wild. Look at what Peace was doing. You can see her Ragnar Philip at the top at 257%, but then what, 423% from Arthur William? What? Are you kidding me? And so it is crazy what this thing will do. Again, you can see these high percentage marks from Zuge Herman. You can see Joan Belly, okay? And then boom, 334%, 1 million to 300,000. Like, this is the kind of stuff that you start to see with Arthur and William. So think about that. Some of you William lovers out there that just like lose your mind over it. And when you come over here and we dissect this thing, hold on. Let me find it. Let me find a good one here where he's attacking quite a bit. We'll go into the battle logs here. And you're going to see this right here. Let me see. The enemy is doing this. And let's see what happens here. We're looking for our, you got a Greatest Glory that gives you what it does and how it does it. Karak's War Drums, that's kind of all the stuff that I'm doing. Luce's Talent, Burning Blood. This is the enemy actually getting some of those things. But some of these things you can kind of see how William is working to get to fire off that particular proc. Okay, so it's actually really, really good and how William's able to do that. And so you can see from the trades. I mean, it's wild how this thing works out sometimes. I think I had even more down here. I was battling pretty good. Had this one, just hit a Rune March. Oh, here's a good one. And so honestly, this stuff, I'm going against the best of the best here. Bad Genie's a really good player. He's running a Huo with Joan, and I'm just crushing it. Okay. And so your Arthur William is going to get you crazy trades. And again, we're going to come back over here to the Norman of Conquest effect. Norman Conquest is what you're looking for. So if you guys want to go in there and look at that and kind of figure that out, that's what we can do. So with that being said, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Okay. We're fighting. It's going crazy. The 960, 2377, 1093, and 365 KVK is popping off in Zone 5. It's going wild. We're learning more and more about Arthur as it comes along. Appreciate my Discord. I appreciate all those guys in there, and Maple and all those guys. And I can even, trust me, guys, you know me, I don't have much of an ego. Okay. When it comes to me saying, oh my God, I don't want to even think about running William. I don't think he's any good. And then Maple coming in and saying, just try him, bro. Just try him. And I'm like, fine. And I reluctantly tried him. And I started getting this stuff. I was like, okay. I'm not too proud to come back in and say, all right, Maple, you might have been right. So with that, that's what it's all about. Join my Discord again. The link is in the description. I appreciate everybody and want everybody to have a great time playing this game. That's why we play it. That's why we do it. That's why I developed the community that I have, that us nerds who love playing this game can come in and do it. So keep it here. And make sure to subscribe for more content that I come up with, more stuff that we do. We're going to do some streams next week. We're going to do some more videos next week. But I wanted to get this video out just so everybody understood what I understand when it comes to the benefits of maybe resurrecting a commander like William. If you're not using them, all of a sudden now you can use them with Arthur, and then you can go put Philip somewhere else. That's if you're running Arthur primary. So with that being said, have a great week. And we will see you next time.